darlings of 2022. Two actors who stood out for their path-breaking performances in films that continued to push the envelope. Rajkummar Rao charmed audiences with his nuanced portrayal in Badhaai Do, a film about individuality and inclusivity. Hit The First Case climbed up the OTT charts, and Raj hit another career peak with Monica, Oh My Darling. Darling of the Year is Vijay Varma, who despite playing an irredeemable villain in Darlings, has become a heartthrob and is an actor much in demand for his pitch-perfect talent. I want to start off with something that binds both the films, that's comedy. Not comedy like how we've seen done before, but this has been very thoughtful comedy. In one case, comedy with a message, and in one case, comedy which was controlled chaos. What was your take on it?
Well, I love comedies, but in this case, you're talking about Monica, right?
Yes.
I think the credit should go to the writing. Yogesh and Sriram sir and Vasan together, they put up such a brilliant script that none of us were trying to do any kind of comedy, honestly. We were just reacting to the situations, but the situations themselves were so funny that if we react to them sincerely, the comedy would just come out of that. I think so, and the whole BGM, the music, I think it's all Vasan. The whole credit should go to him, the way he packaged everything together and the way he edited, and that brilliant score by Achint. I think it's, we were actually, all of us were just being true to the material, given material, and he's the one who saw a lot of comedy in it.
And you said something very interesting. You need to be sincere about it, right? So you need to believe in the joke when you are on screen. You need to really believe that, you know, in it for you to be able to deliver, right? And is that something that's true for you as well, Vijay? Are you just reacting to the script, seeing where it's taking you?
I don't remember doing anything funny in Darlings. I just remember...
you were not funny. Like
yeah.
You were
No, but I think there were a lot of nervous laughs that came from his
like
performance.
it became funny for us, but he was not being funny.
No.
No, the thing is, the only way Darlings could have worked was if you believe in this relationship.
Yeah.
That this relationship is this dangerous. And for me to make the relationship work, I have to commit to the part in a way that I don't want to distract myself with trying to be funny or trying to say that. What happens is when situations are doing their job, and we are all capable actors, especially Chef and Alia are so incredible players. The comedy is basically, that's why the dark comedy is not in making people laugh, but comedy is actually making people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And the looming dread and how they cope with it is relatable, therefore people chuckle.
And you know, that is true of the comedy in Badhaai Do, where it was, you know, it did make you not uncomfortable, it made you think, right? That the kind of, even the scenes between Bhumi and Shiba, that was a standout scene. But of course, the last 20 minutes, you know, we can't ever forget the kind of stand that you took. When you do films such as these that you look back upon, that have made an impact on society, is there an added sense of pride?
Certainly. Especially with Badhaai Do, I think the kind of response I got from Badhaai Do, it was truly overwhelming. For it to help so many people to come out in front of their families and friends, Badhaai Do gave them that strength which they were looking for many, many years. And it's a very lonely position to be in. That's what I realized after doing Shardul in Badhaai Do, that how lonely, how lonesome you can be when you just can't be yourself in front of the society because of different sorts of pressure. So Badhaai Do gave that strength to people. Like I've incidents where like a mother and son watching the film together, and son just came out a couple of years back in front of his mother. And when film got done and mother stood up, they both were crying, of course. And mother just hugged him and said, "I'm so sorry, I wish I could understand you better. I'm sorry for all those years where I could not." And there were incidents where after the film, the boy took the whole family to watch the film. And the moment the film got done, he came out in front of them in the theater. And they were very receptive about it, because they could realize, they could feel what actually happens, what this can do to their child. So I think Badhaai Do has done a great service, I think, to the society.
Yeah, starting that conversation, Vijay, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I was at the screening of Badhaai Do, and I feel like it's one of the finest Rajkummar's work. And those last 20 minutes that you mentioned are probably most heroic I have seen of a character in a long time.
Absolutely. And you know,
And poetic, very beautiful, almost like art. And I was at the screening. I remember so many people going to Shiba Chatta, going to Rajkummar, and I was weeping. People were weeping. People were telling their stories. Shiba couldn't leave the theatre for an hour, I believe, and she was crying herself. She's like, I don't know what's happening. And I kind of knew that the film was special because I had read the part. But what they did with this was absolutely phenomenal. And it had another lease of life when it went to
Netflix,
when it went to the streamer. And it continues to have a life. And I'm glad we are able to be part of projects that kind of matter in overall scheme of things as a society.
Yeah.
Darlings, for that matter, like a lot of people got triggered. A lot of people felt the bad relationship they've been into or something like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'll tell you a very strange fact. A lot of women spoke about Darlings after watching it. Men kept quiet. Because it was a time to probably introspect or probably to check what has been their behavior like, or how are their dynamics in the household. So men stayed fairly quiet about the film.
Yeah, and you know, Darling says it in such an entertaining manner. That's a beautiful thing about our films, right? The fact is, women in abusive relationships don't leave the first time. They take 2, 3, on an average 7 times to leave. And Darling shows that so well, how Alia leaves, she comes back. And it's just woven in that story, her helplessness and why she resorts to what she resorts to. You know, even when it comes to domestic abuse, of course, homosexuality, there's not widespread acceptance, not complete acceptance in the country. That's still a struggle. But when it comes to even domestic abuse, there are still people who justify it, right? So even when you make a film like that, which you think has a universal message, it's a universal message, you do not beat women, do not beat your wife. Even that could have a pushback to it. So when you are pushing the envelope by way of a Badhaai Do, by way of a Darlings, and as an actor, you want your film to be accepted by the largest mass possible. So how do you say, you know, people may not agree with it, but this is a chance for me to do something good at the risk of not everyone agreeing with it?
Well, you honestly, while reading a script, you don't really calculate so much. Like personally, I can talk about myself. When you're doing a film, you feel the responsibility for sure, but you don't feel like how people are going to react to it, or is it a risk. You like a story, you like your part in it, you like who's making it, and you just go for it. You don't really calculate so much. Like I've done Omerta, where I played the most, I think, hated guy, maybe one of the most hated guys. But for me, it's the part. It's my job as an actor to believe in it when I'm doing it, when I'm performing it. So I think while reading it, I take it as a responsibility that yes, it's an important film, it's an important story to be told, but not really calculating so much that is it going to be a risk in my career. I think without risk, we both wouldn't have been here.
You both only take risks. I think what you might consider mainstream film risky. Something that is just masaledar.
Yeah, I think that's risky for me. Yeah, you're right. Like to beat up 20, 30 people in one go, everybody falling down in high speed together, and
dance.
Yeah, that's pretty risky for me. I think that when a film like Badhaai Do or Monica, I feel like this is my space. I feel comfortable here.
Yeah, you understand that, right? You understand that space is a well-crafted film, well written. But you know, now there's a return of the pot boiler, especially the pot boiler from the south, which has been dominating our screens. As an actor, how do you view this phenomenon?
Nothing. I think it's they're really good films. Like RRR, they're good makers. And also, I think it's a phase. You know, there was a phase when everybody was going to Switzerland and shooting their songs there, and people were loving it. It was hero, heroine, villain. Then there was a phase which was about small town, which Anand Rai sir started somewhere. Everybody started making small town films. It started working. Now it's another phase where you want to see larger than life films. So I think it keeps changing. Every 5 years, 7 years, cinema keeps changing.
And do you want to be a part of this?
I don't see it as a return of a pot boiler, because pot boilers never really went anywhere.
Yeah.
They were always there.
You had a Salman coming and giving you that pot boiler.
We always had pot boilers.
Yeah.
It's just that in the pandemic we didn't have theatres.
Yeah.
So we forgot that, so this 2 years we didn't see a pot boiler, basically. It's not a return, it's always there. It was a pause for everything.
And there should be all kinds of films, I feel. Like,
Yeah.
why should you have only one genre and one particular kind of films? Should be, we are 1.4 billion people, I guess.
Yeah.
1.4 or 1.5, like, and there's so many people who love films and cinema, and there should be a buffet. They should pick what they want to watch,
Yeah.
and it should be for everyone.
But you know, just a couple of years ago, we had this entire conversation, right? Like cinema is changing because people were consuming movies at home and consuming Indian cinema, international cinema. How much of that impact do you see today by way of box office or by way of, you know, on the sets?
Because of OTT?
Yeah, because of
Emerging
OTT.
OTTs? No, I think if a film is good, people will go and watch it. It depends on a lot of things actually. What's the timing has to be right of the release date. That is very important. I feel like Badhaai Do, we went a little off when it comes to timing of the release because it was the first release post-pandemic, and the subject was such that it needed some time for people to go and start talking about it. The word of mouth needed to be there, but it still ended up doing around 21 CR, which is great.
Yeah.
But I think it depends on a lot of things. But I really believe the word of mouth is the best way of promoting a film. There's nothing which can beat that.
I don't know one film which is a hit without word of
Yeah.
mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
Like
So that's the
Kantara, I had no idea about Kantara,
Yeah.
but everybody around me was like, have you seen Kantara? Have
That's
you seen
it.
Kantara? So I think it's just the word of mouth.
is
nothing
in
else.
your echo chamber. If people are talking about it,
Yeah.
that means that the film is being seen. That's the only way you know it. There's no other way to measure
Yeah.
right now. Like Monica has been in conversation.
Yeah.
And I remember Darlings was in conversation, and for a change, people were not discussing numbers.
Yeah.
For God's sake. I
It
was
sparked
tired
off
of it.
such lovely conversations. Monica as well, Darlings as well, Badhaai Do as well. When they spark off conversations like that, how do you feel like I made this happen? Is there any pride? How does that work?
Well, it's a really good feeling
Yeah.
when you're a part of a good film and people are talking about it.
Yeah.
Because we are actors, we make films because we want our films to be watched.
Yeah.
And when people watch it, that's the great feeling. And when they come and tell you they really liked it, I think it's worth doing what we are doing. Because you get a sense while making it also that, this should
Sahi
do
ja
some
rahi.
magic. This should do some magic. And you get a vice versa also.
Garbad
This
ja
is going to be a misfire, a bad misfire. तो वो समझ आता है. So I think it's a great feeling when, of course, people appreciate the film. For me, people should like the film first and then maybe my work.
Really?
I don't like it when people say, listen, you were really
You
good
were-
in the film, but I didn't like the film.
Oh.
I would rather say, listen,
Yeah.
it was a great film. Don't
Yeah.
talk about me, it's fine.
Yeah.
But say it was, if people like the film, that should be the primary,
Yeah.
I think, reception for the film.
Well, that's like a beautiful way to put it. But as an actor, don't you feel vindicated? Like even in a bad film, people come and tell you, but you were really good.
It's like आपके तो टूटे हुए थोड़े से self esteem पे कोई मलहम लगा दे. Because there was a show I did called OK Computer.
Yeah.
A lot of critics panned it. Few of them lapped it up.
Hot style.
And across the board, they didn't say bad things about me.
Never.
But I still don't feel great about it because I feel like show देखना चाहिए था लोगों को, So it's like a baby that that I could stay longer with. You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't feel great. Yeah.
It's like
क्योंकि सबने काम ईमानदारी से किया था.
सबको मिलना. Like, you built a new house and somebody comes to your house and say, yaar,
ये room
listen, that couch is great, but I don't like your house otherwise. So it's a very bad feeling. Yeah.
But the
You would rather
couch
say,
was-
listen, it's a great house. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Reception is something that you can't ever tell, right? You don't know how, but you're saying you can tell that. But once that cut is called, how do you know that you've given a good shot? Is it intuition? Is it the monitor? Is it the director's reaction?
It's the director's reaction, of course, if the director is somebody you trust. And for me, it's how involved I was while giving a take. If I don't really care, or I don't not care. I don't really remember, and even in my subconscious, I don't really know where the camera is. If I'm 100%, I'm truthfully present there in that moment. For me, yeah, I think that's the win-win for me.
But can you stay away from the monitor without checking it?
Sometimes if you're in doubt, you think that, I've tried something, let me just see it once. How has it worked? Then, of course, I go and check the monitor, but otherwise, most of the cases I don't. Yeah.
What about you, Vijay?
Yeah,
How
I
do you
stay away from the monitor as much as I can. And usually, I don't remember watching anything from the entire film sometimes. Makes no sense. I'm here because I like the director and I like the vision that the director has. And if I've created the character during prep, I kind of know where I am, and I also like to be an audience to the story eventually. So I don't want to ruin it for myself. I'm very like, I feel like watching yourself can be very distracting, and you can pay attention to something that you shouldn't be paying attention to when you're watching a take. Also, I like being with the other actor. So I feel like if the other actor changes, I change. So that's the fun part for me when I'm shooting with good actors, and I manage to work with really good actors.
I would love to see the two of you work together.
We have a lot of classroom exercises.
Many people don't know, but actually we're classmates from FTI.
Oh, so there are
So we have
these short
studied
films that the
together
two
for
of you have been
2.5
part of.
years.
or
We've
something?
probably spent 2 years doing the same exercises,
2.5 years, yes,
doing
same
plays
thing.
together.
And we've done a film together long back called Chittagong. Of course,
Oh,
where
Chittagong.
we
It was my
didn't
first
share
film.
the screen. Yeah.
Raj has done
Did it right
LSD.
after LSD.
So me, Jaideep and Rajkummar, we were all picked
classmates.
Wow.
Yeah.
picked up from
So
film
this,
school.
this is trivia that I found at FTI, and now I feel even more intimidated because the
There
two
is-
of you know your craft.
We'll find some classroom exercises and send it. One exercise we was playing with, I have to come and tell him कि I'm taking off for 4 days. He's my older brother or whatever. 4 दिन के लिए मैं जा रहा हूँ. बोला कि तू business पे कब ध्यान देगा? Then I say something like you don't care. And in the middle of the scene, he just slapped me. That was a thing with Rajkummar. शुरुआत के उसने 4-5 साल में इतने थप्पड़ मारे ना लोगों को. वो I think क्लास में सबको मारे तो नहीं कि.
Oh my
एक दो
God.
बार तो खाया भी.
And I saw शैतान. I'm like ये रहा. शैतान में गुलशन को पड़ा एक.
Oh my God. I know you pack a punch, Raj, but really, like literally,
It's
is
my
it?
blessing. See, now they're doing so well.
You slaptastic performance, sir. But you can also improv back, right? Even you can like.
I was
improv-
sticking to the cat. I'm like छोटा भाई हाथ.
How cute. Tell us more of these classroom exercises. What happens
Yeah,
behind the
it's
scenes?
a great place. We call it our second home, and anybody who's from FTI would say the same thing. I think just going back to that, it's been a while actually. I haven't really visited the campus, but I think we all should go together. It will be a great feeling.
Yeah.
But 2.5 years that we spent there are certainly one of the best. Those 2.5 years were the best years of my life.
Educational?
Educational, just the friendship, just the togetherness,
space,
like
yeah.
living like a family, the space, the campus, the energy, you know,
The
that's
learnings,
there in the
yeah,
campus, watching the film, experimenting with your craft. Okay, let me try this today, let me try that tomorrow. It's just a great place to be at.
We played like 5 characters in plays. We would change, go back and do one entry for 2 minutes and then come back, change and go inside. and-
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done a lot of stuff.
So
together.
over these 2.5 years, did you work on some things perhaps that you were nervous about, some emotions you were nervous about? I mean, now I
Yeah.
can't imagine the two
Yeah,
of you.
of course. I
No,
think that's
yeah.
the whole point of film school or any school, that it gives you a time and space to practice as much as you can.
Yeah.
And I was a really disciplined student, and I'm sure Vijay
He was
would
very
vouch for
sincere.
that.
No,
Very
you
simple.
he.
Like I
you
would,
are, yeah.
Yeah,
so
he was
I
sincere, number one.
really gave everything that I had for those 2.5 years because I wanted to learn as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you guys act with a fellow trained actor, does it show that okay, this person's learnt it, this person knows?
नहीं ऐसा नहीं.
ऐसा
No,
नहीं है?
not really. We
Not
have so
really.
many actors who are not, trained actors per se, formally trained, but they are very
Yeah?
gifted. Yeah.
Yeah. Tabu is a prime example.
Yeah,
Of
Tabu,
course.
Alia,
Oh my God. Yeah.
Kangna.
There's no two moments similar. Like she is always surprising.
So, but how do you look back upon your journey? If I had to say, talent kitna like weightage and education, do you think both have equal weightage, or is luck the game changer? What is it?
No, I learned a lot from that place. I learned a lot from FTI. It gave me so many great friends for life. It gave me some confidence that when I come to the city, I shouldn't be just a lost child, who doesn't even know where to look when cameras are rolling. So I was prepared for that. So I think talent, of course, you can nurture it by practicing it. And I did that. All of us did that for 2.5 years at FTI. And then I would say luck, of course, is there. But it's not a very heavy percentage, I would say.
No?
Eventually, especially now, I think I see so many. I feel so happy when I see Vijay doing so well. I saw Gully Boy and I felt like a proud brother. I called him and I felt so happy. I saw Jaideep in Patal Lok, again felt like a proud brother. Because such deserving actors, getting their dues, it's the best feeling. Especially now, I think if you know your job, there would be so many opportunities for you. And that one thing which will click will take you forward.
And people will keep searching for you, right? Like they'll search for Rajkummar Rao on Netflix and watch your films. Similarly for, you know, they like you, they go back and they watch
I've
the
done
rest.
that for actors.
Yeah.
I remember when I had time, I used to watch one actor and probably watch 10 films with the same actor to understand how they've metamorphosized into being this incredible actor. Like I've done retrospective of Sean Penn, of say Dustin Hoffman, or Philip Seymour Hoffman, or for that matter Nasir Saab, Om Saab, whatever. We've done this because we love what they created and we learn from them. Irfan Saab se बहुत कुछ सीखा.
बहुत सीखा, very inspiring.
I was with Manoj sir last night. I couldn't he's just daily he's doing something that is challenging him. It's incredible.
So when you look at a repertoire of not those actors but of your own, do you feel, okay, now I've learned so much more and I feel like my latter work is good? Or even when it comes to a film, once you get into the groove, are you like, if I could, you know, reshoot those early scenes? Has that ever happened?
I think it always happens. Also because you mature as a person, you have way more experience than what you had 5 years back. So you start seeing things differently. But that was the truth of that moment. So I can't even I can't deny that. That was a truthful moment for me at that point of time. But now when I look back, of course, when I look back at Trapped or a Shahid, I feel I wish I could do it again, all over again. And there are a few things that might be different now because I'm a different person. I have, as I said, I have way more experience in life as a person. I've seen the world really closely.
I thought you'll choose some other films, not films that everyone's unanimously praised you for, like Trapped and Shahid. Like people have said those are pitch perfect performances, but as an
No,
actor,
nothing. I don't know if it's pitch perfect or no, not even close to pitch perfect.
No, you don't think so?
No.
But okay, but people receive your work in a very complimentary manner, both your work. Why do you think that is? Is it because of sincerity? Is it, do you think right place, right time? Maybe this style of acting would not have worked in the 1980s. What do you think?
It was
is?
working that time as well. There were a
Yeah.
lot of great actors. Yeah.
You think acting is universal then?
Acting
Timeless?
is universal. Yeah, it is timeless.
It's a personal expression, and every actor is a different individual first.
Yeah.
And what they bring is theirs. Like how Pankaj Tripathi brings whatever he brings to every character is his. We bring a lot of ourselves without consciously wanting it. It's there. Some of us are out there.
One reason could be because we try and we tend to play characters and not our own personalities most of the times. Maybe some sprinkle of it is there, but without even realizing it subconsciously. But I think we surrender ourselves to the character, and that's what people like about our work, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just like glad that they like me. Really.
Because I'm not analyzing it.
In an age where hate is kind of trending.
Yeah.
In an age where hate is more like talked. I'm just surprised and glad and thankful that when I open my social media or when I look up my name, I only see good things being told.
Absolutely,
So
that's
that is a
very
blessing.
true.
That's a
And that's true for you as well. You have managed to escape the hate. But the two of you have not been vastly controversial either.
Yeah.
But
I think we just do our job and we go back home. And there's a lot of gratitude and nothing else. For us, to see this dream of becoming a film actor one day was not an easy task. And for it to actually come true, there's just gratitude and nothing else that it happened with us.
The two of you had your journey, you had your struggle. Now when you look back upon it, do you feel it was imperative for you to have gone through that to come here? Because they say tap into your pain. Great performance comes from a place of pain. Do you think that struggle was necessary, or is this a way that people glorify the struggle unnecessarily?
Struggle, I don't know, but I feel, and I say this quite often, that the kind of life I've lived being in Gurgaon, and I've seen all strata of the society, from upper class, middle class, lower class. I've spent so much of time outside my house, seeing people without even realizing that one day, all these experiences would help me. I think the life that I've lived have really helped me in becoming who I am as an actor, because I've seen life very closely. I've seen real people very, very closely. So when Vijay does our Darlings, I know people like that, who would behave like this to their partners. When I do Badhaai Do, I know people like Shardul, because I have friends. And for them, it was tough to come out in front of their families and society. So I think the more experience you have as a person, the more enriching you would be as an artist.
I don't think anybody can glorify the struggle because, you know, you don't know what the person has gone through,
Yeah,
you know. And I remember waiting for a long period of time. You know, I had maybe 6 years for my film Monsoon Shootout to come out.
Yeah.
And as much as I was trying to keep myself going, it was tough, you know. I don't know. These are questions that I don't think I have an answer for. Would it have been different if I didn't have to struggle so much or wait so much? I don't know. Or did it prepare me for being who I am right now?
Okay, hypothetical questions.
I know part of me is not trying to prove myself.
Yeah.
I think that comes from just being there, trying to hustle for so long that you understood that life can be tough. So wherever you are, there is a lot of like contentment and gratitude for wherever I am right now. So it always like, there are days when I lean towards this and there are days when I lean towards that. But right now I really don't have time to reflect about my life and nostalgia and none
It's a
of it.
packed
I'm
schedule.
It's a packed schedule and it's a lot of being involved in a lot of creative energy, which is what keeps me going. I'm in thick of things. I'm very blessed to be doing what I'm doing. And yeah, so no time to kind of
But
reflect.
there's also a fact that, you know, when you come from outside without any support or background, most of the cases, I would say 99%, it takes you some time. So that struggle period is a reality that happens. And as Vijay said, it can be different for different people.
Yeah.
There are people who are struggling for that dinner, and there are people who are struggling for that, meri gaadi ka AC kharab ho gaya.
Yeah.
You know, so they depend.
I remember we
yeah.
used to just make sure we go for films in morning show because morning shows were cheaper.
Yeah.
You know, and luxury was going out and watching a film in movie hall, and double bonus was to get a popcorn along. You know?
I just want to clarify, when I say glorify the struggle, I'm not saying people who have struggled, I'm saying people from the outside who have not struggled, who are more privileged, say, oh, you know, but because of the struggle, you get to learn all this, like that. I wasn't saying
You learn every day. It's
Yeah.
not only the struggle that teaches you. You
Yeah.
learn by watching a film. You
Yeah.
learn by talking to a friend.
Yeah.
I think learning never stops.
Yeah. One thing I want to touch upon, of course, is social media, which has become such an important part of our lives. I know initially, actors were being forced to post. Now, how is it? Do you post on your own?
No, I do post on my own, and I'm still very bad at it. There are days when I realize, and then people told me from my team, sir, it's been a month, you haven't really posted anything. And I honestly, I don't really enjoy it. I am not a very social media savvy person. I am not on Facebook. I don't use Twitter at all. Instagram, I'm there because it's also, it's a way to reach out to people when you have something coming up, like sharing your teaser or a poster or a trailer. And sometimes you make money also out of it. So it's fine. But I'm not really a social media savvy person, no.
I know somebody who's
I would
making
rather, I
splash.
actually love those days when social media was not there.
Yeah, you yearn
Because
for
when
those
I was
days, yeah?
traveling in
Yeah.
those buses and bike and cycles, I was reading a play.
Yeah.
But today you see anyone or
Scrolling.
most everyone, like they're just scrolling,
Through
they're just on their
reels.
phones, just doing something or the other. I'm so glad when I was learning, I was doing theatre, there was no social media, there was no distraction.
Even at film school, there was no internet.
Yeah.
We never went and sat in front of the computer.
Correct,
or
never.
We didn't have smartphones at that time. So.
I think when we went to FTI, Orkut नया नया आया था.
Orkut आया था and I wasn't into
हाँ,
it.
मैंने एक दिन बनाया, मुझे लगा ये क्या है, चलो कौन time waste करेगा, तो yeah, I just
No.
left it.
So we didn't have. Right now, the Film Institute has changed because there's Wi-Fi. Everybody has. We used to watch movies together. It's all changing.
Yeah, हम लोग बड़ी screen पे film देखते थे daily.
But does it matter, the social media following? Some people have been cast because of their following.
I
right?
feel
To
like
make
it's
careers.
really like for especially for actors. I don't think it's a measurement to understand who is big or who is better. It's really like what they're doing with their social media is what is getting their followers. And as Raj said, there are weeks when I don't post and I take a detox every 3 months. I just go off. I delete the app because I just like don't want it to take over me, you know, and my time. So I enjoy it. I feel like it's a personal diary for me, and especially because I don't get complicated stuff. I don't get like hate online. It's kind of a quick feel gooder.
Yeah, so
when I
you
go
get
and see people writing
validation.
good
Yeah, a lot of
things,
hearts
like,
you get as well, Rajkummar, on your photos.
Hearts back to you guys.
Oh, so cute. Okay, now I'm drawing this conversation to an end, but on a grateful note, what's been the most fulfilling thing for the two of you at the movies this year?
For me, I think just to get a chance to work with Harshvardhan, like Badhaai Do and Hit, I enjoyed doing Hit as an actor. I really enjoyed the part. And Monica, just to get a chance to work with Vas, and I think just amazing. I just wish this streak to just continue.
I wish it continues too. I've been so entertained by you,
Thank
Raj, across genres this year,
Thank you.
and just so happy to see you on screen, any screen, big or
Thank
small.
you so much.
And Vijay, what's been the best thing about being at the movies for you?
What's been the best thing about being in movies? It's, I think it's finally feeling like I took some risks with some projects. Darlings was one of those, and it turned out to be a risk that rewarded me a lot. So I feel like that part of me that was scared of taking a risk, usko thoda sa tasalli mila hai. I want to do more of such such challenging parts.
Good for us. Love seeing you take risks, and of course the risk masters right here. Thank you so much for being
Thanks
on the
a lot.
table.
Thanks for having
It's
me.
been a great and enlightening conversation for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.